To the listing quality dashboard. When you add complete and accurate information to your product listings, you help customers find your products and make an informed purchase decision. This means customers are more likely to receive a product that meets their expectations, and you're less likely to receive a return. The listing quality dashboard can help you identify ways to improve your product listings by recommending product attributes and other details to add. These tips can help you create a great customer experience and fix time-sensitive issues that may result in your listing being hidden from search results. To view the listing quality dashboard, select the menu icon in the top left corner of Seller Central. Hover over Inventory, select Manage Inventory, and click Listing Quality Dashboard on the Manage Inventory page. The products listed in the Products section are pre-sorted by sales and page views. We recommend starting from the top of the list and working your way down to focus on the products and tips most relevant to your business. If the Address Search Suppression button appears, select it to review which product listings are at risk of being hidden in search results if you don't apply the recommended improvements. To review your recommendations for a product listing, select any links in the Recommendations column that say View All Improvements. These links should include a number before the word improvements. If you feel that a missing attribute isn't relevant for the product, is confusing, or doesn't have the correct options for you to select from, let us know by selecting the ellipsis next to the recommendation and choosing the option that best reflects your feedback. You now know that adding the recommended information to your product listings can help you reduce customer returns and take time-sensitive actions. It can also help improve product discovery and help you make the most of your listings' product overview sections. For example, customers filter their search results using specific attributes. When you include information that customers look for, you help ensure your customers won't miss your product. The Listing Quality Dashboard can identify these missing product attributes and prompt you to complete them. The Product Overview also highlights noteworthy product attributes above the bullet points that you include on the product detail page. Your Listing Quality Dashboard may recommend you complete this section to help customers quickly evaluate your product and make a faster purchase decision. We'll identify missing product attributes and other suggestions that can help improve your listings in real time. So set a reminder to check for updates on a regular basis to help ensure you're providing a great shopping experience for your customers. This concludes our intro to the Listing Quality Dashboard. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our training on the late shipment rate, or LSR. Today we'll cover what the LSR is and how it affects sellers in the Amazon store. Let's start by defining LSR. LSR measures the percentage of orders where shipment confirmation occurs after the expected ship date. You can find the expected ship date in order details. It's important to note that LSR only applies to seller-fulfilled orders, also known as merchant-fulfilled, or MFN. To calculate your LSR, your total orders are divided by those that were ship confirmed late. So if you've had 100 orders in the last 10 days and 2 of them were shipped after the expected ship date, you'll have an LSR of 2%. Sellers must maintain an LSR under 4% to continue selling in the Amazon store. An LSR over 4% can result in account deactivation. To view your LSR, head to the Performance tab in Seller Central and select Account Health. In the Shipping Performance section, select Late Shipment Rate. On this page, you'll see your LSR calculated for the last 10 and 30 days. It's important to confirm orders by their expected ship dates so your customers can see their order status online. Confirming late can lead to negative customer experiences, increased claims, negative feedback, and customer contacts. If your LSR is in jeopardy, you may be notified and given 30 days to remedy the situation. If you do not take action, you could risk account deactivation. Now let's review some top tips for improving and maintaining your LSR. First, be sure you only list items you're able to ship by or before their expected ship date. Next, work with your carriers to ensure they will be able to pick up your packages and scan them on time. Finally, ensure you confirm shipments with valid tracking information as soon as you hand over packages to the carrier. It's also possible that your business has grown during your time in the Amazon store to the point where you need to hire more staff to stay on top of orders. Create a daily reminder to check for and prepare orders. Making this a part of your daily routine can help you always ship on time. You can also use Amazon's Buy Shipping services to simplify the shipping process and remove your need to confirm shipping. To learn more about Amazon Buy Shipping services, search for Buy Shipping in Seller University. Preparing for increased order volume during key sales periods like the run-up to holiday seasons can help you maintain a healthy LSR. Finally, always check your account health dashboard regularly for notifications. This concludes our training on the late shipment rate. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our training on the cancellation rate. Today we'll cover what this policy is and how it affects you as a seller in the Amazon store. Cancellations are a normal part of almost every sales operation and happen for a variety of reasons. Your cancellation rate measures all seller-canceled orders as a percentage of your total orders during a 7-day time period. This includes only the order and item cancellations that you initiate. Pending orders or items canceled by your customer directly on Amazon do not count towards your cancellation rate. To view your cancellation rate, head to the Performance tab in Seller Central and select Account Health. In the Shipping Performance section, select Pre-Fulfillment Cancel Rate. Here, you'll see your cancellation rate for the past 7 days. To maintain an active selling account, you'll need to keep your cancellation rate under 2.5%, as higher rates can result in deactivation. This metric affects your access to other features, like premium shipping. To access premium shipping, your cancellation rate must be under 0.5%. Now, let's discuss the different types of cancellations in the Amazon store and how they can affect you. If a buyer raises a standard cancellation request, it won't negatively impact your cancellation rate. However, if the buyer raises a non-standard cancellation request for reasons related to your listing or offer, your cancellation rate could be negatively impacted. If you, as the seller, raise a cancellation request, it will negatively impact your cancellation rate. Whether you cancel due to an out-of-stock item, an undeliverable address, or an unresponsive buyer, self-canceling an order will have a negative impact on your cancellation rate and account health. Out-of-stock items are the most common reason for sellers to cancel orders. While we understand that stockouts happen, we expect sellers to minimize these issues. Let's explore some tips for maintaining and improving your cancellation rate. First, only list items in your possession. Listing items you don't have on hand can cause cancellations, as you may not be able to fulfill the order in time. You should also keep an eye on your stock levels, especially if you sell in multiple channels. Canceling an order when a product is out of stock can often lead to negative feedback. To help, you can increase the frequency of your inventory updates from monthly to weekly or weekly to daily, for example. Be sure to dedicate inventory specifically for Amazon listings. Selling in multiple stores can get complicated, so dedicating inventory specifically to your Amazon listings can help avoid stock issues and cancellations. Finally, be sure to keep pricing accurate at all times. Canceling an order due to an accidentally low price can result in negative feedback and hurt your cancellation rate. So what should you do if the buyer's provided address is undeliverable? If you haven't shipped the order yet, you can contact the buyer through buyer-seller messages. You can request they cancel the order and place a new one with the correct or updated address. Or what if you need more details to fulfill the order and the buyer is unresponsive? Welcome to the video on creating an effective plan of action. If your account or listings are deactivated, specific actions may be needed to bring your product listing or account in compliance with Amazon policies. Please refer to instructions in the relevant performance notifications and account health section in Seller Central to find specific enforcement-related actions and potential next steps. For an account deactivation, submit an appeal by locating the specific notification in the Performance Notifications section. For listing level violations, submit an appeal in Account Health under the Performance tab. Please make sure to log into the marketplace, example US or Canada or Mexico, where the deactivation or violation occurred to submit an appeal. A plan of action, or a POA, gives Amazon confidence that you will address the identified issue and help us make a reinstatement decision on your account or listing by considering a holistic perspective of your specific situation. First, let's dive into a plan of action, which typically includes the following 3 elements. Identify the root cause of the issue or identify the problem that led to the account deactivation or policy violation. Explain the actions you have already taken to resolve the issue for your customers. Provide a solution so the issue will not happen again in the future. Do's of a plan of action. 1. Be clear and concise. Your plan of action should be factual and direct. Focus on the facts and events that caused the issue. 2. Provide an explanation for all issues. Some deactivations can be the result of a combination of issues. For example, a high order defect rate can arise from negative feedback and undelivered orders. You must provide a response for each root cause in your plan of action. 3. Include supporting evidence for all items. Make sure you submit supporting evidence for all of the products or ASINs that are under review. You can find the list of products at the bottom of your original notification. Make sure to check the time frame requested for the documents, as some require invoices from the last 365 days. 4. Highlight areas in your supporting documents. You can make your response more relevant by circling or highlighting the areas within your documents that are most important, such as ASINs, supplier details, for example name and supplier website, or clauses within your terms and conditions. Don'ts of a plan of action. 1. Don't recycle an old POA or resubmit a previous appeal if your account or listing is deactivated for the same reason. Try to understand if the root cause has changed or consider implementing alternative solutions. Only submit a POA that addresses the issues for the current enforcement. 2. Don't have your account manager or an outside agency write a POA on your behalf. You will address the issue. You are best positioned to understand your business and identify solutions. 3. You do not need to provide an introduction of your product, business, or customer. 4. It is ideal to not include questions or references to ongoing support cases in your submission. 5. Emotive language should not be used. Focus on the facts and how you plan to address the issues. 6. Don't focus on what happened in the past or provide short-term or reactive solutions to the issues. Understand what went wrong and use that information to identify solutions to prevent the same issue from happening again in the future. 7. It is not recommended to list all possible solutions and things you will do in the future. A POA should be specific and highlight steps you have already taken to address the issue. Here is a summary of all do's and don'ts we discussed. Sometimes you may be required to send supporting documentation along with your plan of action. For example, invoices or other supply chain documentation may be requested for certain policy violations or customer complaints. You should always keep invoices and any other relevant records for all of your products sold on Amazon. Invoices must be clearly identifiable and must include the details, like your name and address, supplier's name, address, and phone number. It can be beneficial to add supplier information within the appeal in order to help investigators verify the distributor's supplier credibility. Include details like issue date, invoice number, quantity of inventory, product names, ASIN. If the ASIN in question is not clearly identifiable from the invoice line description, you can highlight the line item for the ASIN that is under review and rescan the invoice to submit. This will help eliminate confusion and expedite the review process. Make sure that image quality of all documents are clear, not grainy, not cut off, and all your information matches the information you have entered in Seller Central. You may obscure pricing information, and you are encouraged to highlight the item under review. If your invoice does not meet these requirements, please tell us when you submit your appeal and explain why you are not able to supply an invoice in the required format. We will consider this information during the review process. This wraps up our video on creating an effective plan of action. Thank you, and happy selling on Amazon! Welcome to our training on Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy compliance. The tips we'll share in this video don't take the place of legal advice, so remember to consult a lawyer if you have any specific anti-counterfeiting or intellectual property questions. When you list products in the Amazon store, you'll need to comply with all applicable laws and Amazon policies. One of these policies is the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy, which helps ensure that all products in the Amazon store are authentic. When you sell in the Amazon store, you agree that all of your products are authentic. Some examples of inauthentic or counterfeit products include bootlegs, fakes, pirated copies of products or content, products that have been illegally replicated, reproduced, or manufactured, and products that infringe on another party's intellectual property rights. To help avoid selling counterfeit and inauthentic products, we recommend sourcing your products from a reliable supplier and verifying that they're authentic before you list them. In certain cases, an Amazon selling partner will list an authentic product, but customers or other sellers might think it's inauthentic. To help avoid this misunderstanding, we recommend listing and shipping products in the manufacturer's original packaging and refraining from altering or removing the brand's packaging, which contains important product information. Let's review an example of a product listing that doesn't comply with our anti-counterfeiting policy. A seller lists a handbag in the Amazon store. On its product detail page, the seller notes that the handbag is from brand ABC. A customer sees the product listing, notices the brand name product's low price, and makes a purchase. When the handbag arrives, the customer discovers that the handbag isn't one of the brand's authentic products and contacts Amazon. In this example, the seller has violated the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy. Sellers who don't comply with this or other selling policies may experience the following. The listings that are in violation may be suspended. Their funds may be withheld in accordance with applicable laws or Amazon's funds withholding policy. Their FBA product inventory may be removed or disposed of in accordance with applicable laws or Amazon's Business Solutions Agreement. And their selling account may be either suspended or deactivated. When you and other sellers comply with the anti-counterfeiting policy, you help ensure customers can trust the products they buy in the Amazon store. To review the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy, search for Anti-Counterfeiting Policy in Seller Central. This concludes our training on how to comply with the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy. Thank you, and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to the training on how to respond to an anti-counterfeit performance notification. When listing products on our store, you must comply with all applicable laws and Amazon policies. It's important to note that the information contained in this training does not constitute legal advice, and you should consult a lawyer if you have any specific product anti-counterfeiting questions. Authenticity-related performance notices indicate your account has violated the Amazon anti-counterfeiting policy. Performance notifications are displayed in Seller Central's Performance Notifications page. If you receive a performance notification, you should address the behavior described in the notification. If you want to submit an appeal, you should submit this as soon as possible. Please be aware that it's a violation of Amazon policy to open a new account if you have an active violation on an already existing account. How to submit an appeal. When you submit an appeal for either a listing deactivation or an account deactivation due to anti-counterfeiting policy violation, you will be required to submit copies of invoices from your suppliers. These invoices must have been issued in the last 365 days and display the issue date. Include all of the ASINs requested and highlight the ASINs next to the line item for clarity. Be issued before the performance notification date. Reflect your sales volume during the last 365 days. Show the same shipping address as the address listed on your Seller Central account. Contain the contact information of your supplier, including name, phone number, address, and website. We will protect the privacy of this information. And be of a quality where all the information is clearly visible. We don't accept invoices that have been digitally manipulated or tampered with. You may remove the pricing information from these invoices, but all other information must remain visible. We will use this documentation to verify the authenticity of your product. If you believe that you have received a product authenticity and quality performance notification in error, please submit an explanation with your appeal, and we will investigate your concern. To submit an explanation, scroll to the bottom of the account reactivation page or listing reinstatement page. Click the Please Provide an Explanation Here link. In the text box that appears, provide an explanation of why your account or listing should not be deactivated and click Next. Upload any supporting documents along with your explanation by either drag and dropping or selecting the files. The supporting documents can be invoices, receipts, or letters of authorization from brand owners. Once all of the documents have been uploaded, click Submit. Once you have gathered all your documents, sign into your Seller Central account. Go to the Performance tab and choose Account Health. To reinstate a listing that has been deactivated, go to your Account Health dashboard. Scroll down to Policy Compliance. Click on the Compliance Violation where you will be taken to the Product Policy Compliance page. Click Appeal next to the Policy Violation. This will take you to the Reinstate Your Listing page. You can also get to the Reinstate Your Listing page by going to Performance tab and choose Performance Notifications, where you will find a list of all of your notifications. Click on the Performance Notification. Ensure that you read all of the information in the notification carefully. Click Appeal next to the Performance Notification. You will be taken to the Reinstate Your Listing page, where you will submit the requested documents. To reactivate a deactivated account, click the Reactivate Your Account button in the top right-hand corner of the Account Health dashboard page. This will take you to the Reactivate Your Account page. Similar to Reinstate Your Listing, you can also get to the Reactivate Your Account page by going to Performance tab and choosing Performance Notifications. And, as in the listing reactivation, click on the Performance Notification. Make sure that you read all of the information in the notification carefully. To appeal the performance notification, click Appeal next to the performance notice, where you will be taken to the Reactivate Your Account page. We will now take a look at the documents we discussed at the beginning of this training. These are the documents that you must submit to reinstate your account or listing. Before you upload the documents in either the Reinstate Your Listing page or Reactivate Your Account page, check that they meet the requirements. The issue date is visible. The product name is visible on all documents. Sales volume of the product is reflected for the last year. Your supplier's information is provided. Don't forget to select the checkboxes once you have confirmed that your documents meet the specific requirements. Upload your documents by either drag and dropping or selecting the files. Once all of the documents have been uploaded and the checkbox is checked, click Submit. What happens after an appeal is submitted? Once you have submitted an appeal, we will review your documents. Please note that we may reach out to the supplier to verify information, but you can be assured that we will always maintain strict confidentiality of your supplier's information. If your appeal is successful, your listing will be reinstated, and if your account was deactivated, it will once again be active. Remember that you can view the anti-counterfeiting policy by going to Seller Central's homepage. Type anti-counterfeiting policy in the search field located in the top right corner of the page. Welcome to our training on Amazon's product detail page policy compliance. When you sell in the Amazon store, you must comply with all applicable laws and Amazon policies. The product detail page policies are in place to ensure that customers have a clear and consistent buying experience. They also ensure that only one unique product is on a single product detail page. The product detail page policies require that all sellers comply with store-style guides, accurately describe and categorize products, make sure that variations are only added to the product when appropriate, create new detail pages for new products or versions. They also require that sellers don't duplicate a product detail page where one already exists for a product, don't include inappropriate content, links, contact information, requests for reviews, or any advertising on their product detail pages, and don't add details that infringe upon the IP rights of any third party. Our policies also do not allow for the incorrect modification of detail pages. We only allow detail page updates that improve the detail page. This includes improving the accuracy of the content or making the content grammatically correct. Accordingly, we consider a detail page to be incorrectly modified when, as a result of changes to a listing, the product is no longer accurately described or is described less accurately than it was before the change. As an example, let's consider any company trading who aren't in compliance with the product detail page policy. Any company trading lists a branded handbag in the Amazon store. While they don't own the brand, they have appropriate documentation to sell this branded bag. Once listed, any company trading returns to their listing. Hoping to promote their name to customers, they update the detail page to include their own name, any company trading, in the ASIN title, as well as in the product description. Any company trading is not in compliance with Amazon's detail page policy, as they change the information on the product's detail page, making the branded handbag's title and description inaccurate. It's important to remember that failure to comply with any of Amazon's policies may impact your ability to sell in the Amazon store. You can review our product detail page policies by going to Seller Central's homepage and typing Product Detail Page Rules into the search field. Note that the information contained in this module doesn't constitute legal advice, and you should consult a lawyer to ensure that you have appropriate checks and procedures in place. This concludes our training on Amazon's product detail page policy compliance. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store.
Okay, hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us today for our session focusing on advertising and sponsored products. My name is Yas and I'm on the Seller University team.
Maintaining your seller account health is important to successfully selling on Amazon. The health of your selling account depends on performance metrics and policy compliance, which we will cover later in this video. To track your account health, refer to the Account Health section under the Performance tab in Seller Central. This will show if you have any listing violations, listings that have been deactivated, listings that are at risk of deactivation, and also account-level actions taken. In this video, we will provide an overview of what account deactivation and listing-level violations are, why Amazon takes these actions, and how you should address them. Account and listing-level deactivations are used to help create a trustworthy shopping experience on Amazon. They help protect customers, brands, and our selling partners from fraud and abuse. Account or listing listing level deactivations are
First, we're going to
usually a
discuss the
temporary
sponsored
action
products.
that limit
So
your
sponsored
ability
products
to
allow
sell
you
on
to
Amazon.
promote individual
These
product
actions are
listings
taken
to
when
customers
Amazon
as they browse
identifies
and
one
search for
or more
items to buy
policy
in Amazon store.
violations.
Sponsored
If
product
an
ads
account
are
or listing
targeted to
deactivation
keywords
or
or
listing level
products, and they
violation
appear
is not
above and
addressed,
within the
it
search
may
results
lead to
and
permanent
on product detail
deactivation of your
pages on
selling
both the
privileges on
desktop and
Amazon.
mobile devices.
To avoid
And
account
you pay only
deactivation
when
or listing
customers
level
click on
violation
your
from
ad. So it is
happening,
pay-per-click
you should ensure
advertising.
that you are
And the nice
adhering
thing
to
about
selling
sponsored products
practices
is
in
you actually
accordance with
control
Amazon's
how much you
policies
spend
and
by
business
setting a
solutions
budget
agreement.
and choosing how much
In
to
addition,
bid per
you should
click.
closely monitor
And since
your
you can
account
choose your
health
own
in Seller
campaigns,
Central.
including
You can
budgets
find
and
relevant
bids,
performance
sponsored
metrics and
products can be used by
notifications for account
advertisers of really any
deactivations
business size,
and listing
for
level
a wide variety
violations
of goals,
under
such
the
as
Performance
generating
tab in
awareness of your
Seller
new
Central
product,
in the Account
promoting
Health
seasonal
section.
items, clearing
The Account
excess
Health section
inventory,
shows
or
performance metrics and
showcasing
listing level
best-selling items.
violations. You are expected to monitor
And
your
then we're going to go
performance
over
metrics
how
and
to
appeal
actually
any
create a
listing level
sponsored
or
products
account
campaign
violations
on
that
your
appear
Seller
in
Central
the Account
account.
Health. If these are not successfully
So in
appealed,
your Seller
your account
Central,
may be
you're just
deactivated
going
in accordance
to,
with your
first of all,
performance
hover
metric
over
targets.
advertising, click on
Account
Campaign
Health is
Manager,
divided
and then
into
click
3
Create
sections:
Your Campaign.
customer service performance, product
then
policy compliance, and shipping performance.
And then you're going to
Customer service
enter in the following
performance. This
information in the
consists of
settings
order
section.
defect rate,
You're
ODR,
gonna enter in
and
the campaign
invoice
name. This
defect
can be
rate,
whatever you want.
IDR.
And then
Let's
you're also
dive
going to
into
set
each
your
one of them.
date range on this.
Order
your start
defect
and
rate
dates
is a
that you
key
want to
measure of your
advertise
ability
for
to
the ad
provide a
to
good
be
customer
live,
experience.
as well as
It
your
includes
daily
all
budget.
orders with 1 or more defects represented as a percentage
you'll
of
see at the
total
bottom
orders
there
during a
too,
given
you'll
60-day
have
time
your
period.
targeting, so this can either
The following are the
your
3
automatic
types of order
targeting or your
defect rate:
manual targeting.
negative feedback rate,
Automatic targeting
A to
will
Z
target
guarantee
products
claim
and
rate,
keywords that
and
are
credit card
similar to the
chargeback
product
rate.
in your ads.
This issue
While
most
manual
often stems
targeting
from a
lets you
buyer
choose
who
the
didn't
keywords
receive
or
an order,
products to target
or the product the
customer
buyer
searches and
ordered
set
is
custom
damaged
bids.
when it was
For any
delivered.
new
You
sellers
can
out there,
download
I
the
would just
report to
recommend
view
using
specific
the automatic
violations
targeting
if
for
you
your
have an
first
account
campaign. That way
level
you can
or
pull the
listing
data
level
that Amazon
violation
chooses
due
for
to
you.
a high order defect
And when you
rate,
do choose
ODR.
automatic targeting,
Viewing this
Amazon
report
essentially
may help
uses
you create a
multiple
plan of
default
action for
strategies to
reinstatement,
match your ad
which will be
to a
explained
customer
in
shopping for
detail
your
in
products.
creating an
And these
effective
different
POA
targeting
video.
defaults are either a close
The
match,
invoice
loose
defect
match,
rate,
substitutes,
IDR, is
and
all
help.
orders from Amazon business customers for which an invoice was not
Next up,
uploaded
you'll
within
have to
1
just
business
to
day after
choose,
shipment as a
your
percentage
bidding
of total
strategy.
orders
So
from
you can
Amazon
either
business
choose
customers.
your up and down
Amazon
bids,
business
your
customers
down-only
expect
bids, or your
invoices
fixed
for
bids.
tax and accounting
The
purposes.
down-only bids
In
at the
order
top
to
there are
provide
bids
invoices to
in which
customers,
Amazon
you
will
may
decrease your
activate the
bid by a
VAT
max of
calculation
100%
service
when
within
it's less
Seller
likely
Central
to lead to
and
a
let
sale.
Amazon issue
The up and
invoices
down
on
bids
their
are
behalf
bids
at no
that
cost.
Amazon will either
Recommended.
increase or decrease
Alternatively,
by a max of 100%
invoices can be
when
uploaded
it's more likely to
automatically
lead to a
via a
sale. And then
third-party
fixed
solution
bids
provider
are bids that
or
Amazon
manually
won't
via the
touch.
Manage
They won't
Orders
touch.
page. We recommend that sellers maintain an invoice defect rate
next you'll
under
need to create your
5%
ad group.
in order to provide a
Ad
good
groups act
customer
as
experience.
subfolders in your
However, there is no
campaigns, so
penalty
you just
for
create
not
a
meeting
name
the
for your ad
performance
group
target
and
at
then
this
enter it in
time.
the ad group name box.
Product
And do
policy
keep in mind
compliance.
that ad groups
This page
are
in the
not
Account
available
Health
for
tab
campaigns
contains
using
all
custom
listing
text.
level violations. It is important that you appeal all
So
violations
next you're
through
going
this
to
portal
select
on the Next
products
Steps
or
column.
products that you want to include in
Listing
your
level
ad group.
actions may be
You can
taken due to
click
third-party
by, you can search by your
violations,
product's
including
name, the
intellectual
SKU,
property
or the
rights
ASIN.
owners,
And after you
buyers,
find the
and
products that you
Amazon.
want to add,
The
just
product
click
policy
Add to add them to
compliance
your ad group.
page tracks the
If you
following
select a product with
violations:
variations, you may see
suspected
an Add
intellectual
Variations
property
button.
violations,
Clicking onto this will
received
include all
intellectual
of the
property
variations for that
violations,
product, so sizes,
product
colors, or
authenticity
other
customer
differences in the products that
violations,
you want to advertise.
product condition customer violations, product safety customer
next,
violations,
you'll need
listing
to
policy
set your
violations,
default bid,
restricted product policy
also known as the
violations,
cost per click
customer
or the
product
CPC
reviews
bid.
policy
The bid
violations,
is the amount you're
shipping
ready to
performance.
invest per click.
This measures
And to
your
help you
late
decide on
shipment
your
rate.
CPC
The target
bid,
is under
you can use the
4%.
suggested
Cancel
bid
rate
range.
before
The
fulfillment
bids
and
in this
target
range
is
are
under
calculated from a group
2.5%,
of winning bids
and
for
valid
ads
tracking
similar to
rate and
yours.
target is over
And you should consider
95%.
applying the suggested
If your
bid to
late
some
shipment
or
rate
all
or
of your
cancel rate
keywords
are
for
out of
first.
target, your selling account may be deactivated. deactivated. The Performance
next you wanna
Notifications
choose
tab shows
whether
all of
to
the
launch
account
in other
deactivation and
marketplaces.
listing
You
level
only wanna launch
violation
your ad
messaging,
in the US,
including your
then you would
appeals
just
and
toggle that
Amazon's
launch to other
replies to your
marketplaces
appeals.
on there.
It is important to understand what caused your account deactivation or listing level
Before you
violation
launch your
and what is
campaign,
needed to move
you'll see an
forward.
option to update the negative
Carefully read your
keyword
account
targeting and
deactivation
negative
or listing
product
level
targeting
violation
feature.
notification
If you're a new seller,
to
you can just
understand
skip
the
this
reason
because your
and
campaign
determine the
is
root
still in
cause of the
process
issue.
gathering information. information.
When appealing, be sure to provide all the information and documentation requested
Before
in
you
the
submit your
performance
campaign, just
notification.
review all of your information.
For some account
to ensure
deactivation
you're
or
happy with the
listing level
results.
violations,
You want to save
you
your
may need
draft
to
and come
provide
back later, just
documentation
click Save
verifying
as
your
draft,
identity,
otherwise click
business
Launch
documents,
Campaign.
or invoices.
And your campaigns are
It
usually
is
eligible
important to
go
ensure
live
that you have
within 1
correctly
to 2
entered your
hours
business
after you
name and
submit them.
address in the
However,
account
once live,
information
the
tab under
campaign
settings.
performance metrics,
This
such
helps
as
in the
impressions,
verification of
might
your
take up to
identity,
20 or
and this
up to
process
12 hours
also
to
helps you
display,
navigate the appeal
in the
process
campaign
more
manager.
easily. If you operate
And then you can
multiple
also
businesses,
check out our
you may enter
tutorials in
multiple
Seller
addresses
University
and business
on
names
both how to
accordingly.
create your first
The
automatic
notification
campaign
informing
or
you that your
first
listing
manual
or
campaign.
account has been deactivated will
And we'll go
include
ahead
two
and
parts:
pass it off to Craig,
why the
who's
listing
gonna go
or
over the
account is
keywords and search
deactivated,
terms.
including the reason for deactivation,
Thanks, Danny.
what is needed to
So let me give you a
appeal.
breakdown of some
Most
keyword
often,
match types
you need to
that
send a
can be
plan of
used.
action that explains the root cause, the actions you've taken to resolve the issue, and what you've done
One
to
thing to
ensure
remember
this
is
issue
that
won't
keywords
happen
are
in the
only
future.
available in a manual campaign.
We hope this video was
Once you
helpful.
have manual targeting
Thank you,
selected, you
and
can
happy
scroll
selling
down
on
to see
Amazon.
the keyword section. There's going to be a few different types of match types for keywords. First, we're going to cover is broad match, where your ad may appear when a customer searches for your keyword in any order.
Welcome to
including
our
close
training on
variations.
Amazon's variation
Broad
policy.
match
When
offers
you
the
sell
widest
in the
exposure,
Amazon store,
so
you
it's great
must
for starting
comply
out.
with all
A
applicable
shopping
laws
query
and
will
Amazon
match if it
policies.
contains all of the
You can
keyword
find our
terms in
variation
any
policy
order,
by going to
but
Seller
broad match
Central's
also
homepage
includes the
and
plural
typing
form of these
ASIN
keywords,
creation
as well as
policy
synonyms
into
or
the
other
search
variations
field.
that are similar to that
On the
keyword.
ASIN creation policy
The next
page, scroll
narrowing
down
things down
until you
is
see the
going to be phrase
variation
match,
policy.
where your ad may appear when a customer
Product
searches for
variations
either your
are
exact
sets of
phrase
products
or a
that are
sequence of
related to
words
one another by
in your
an
keyword.
attribute such as
While this is
size,
more
color,
restrictive
or
than broad
flavor.
match, it can drive more
These
relevant
products
traffic
can be
to your
grouped
ads.
together on one detail
Lastly,
page. A product
is exact
variation
match.
relationship
In exact
is
match,
often
there is-
called a
it's much more
parent-child
specific and direct.
relationship.
For your ad to
We have
show a
certain
customer
criteria
search
that
term
must be met for a
match
product to
your
be
keyword
variation
exactly.
eligible.
This is the most restrictive
All
match
products
type,
in the variation
but can help
relationship
generate the most
must
relevant
be
traffic for your
fundamentally the
ads.
same. For example, the same shirt, but in a different color.
Next, we'll
Vary
talk about
in
negative
only a
phrase and
few
exact
specific
match.
ways,
Negative
such as
phrase and
color and
exact match
size,
apply a
be
negative
expected
match
to be
type
found
to
on a
keywords
single
in your
product detail
campaigns to
page
prevent your ads
and
from
be
showing
able
when
to share
customers
the
search
same
for those
title.
terms. This can help you get the
We
most
consider the
relevant
following
clicks
examples
while
to
reducing
violate our
the irrelevant
variation
ones.
policy.
We recommend
Changing
starting
the
with
child
broad
products
match and
detail
then
page
reviewing your
so it
campaign
doesn't match the
performance
parent
reports
product
to see
listed.
which specific terms
Changing
are
the parent
performing
product's
best.
detail page so it
Consider
no
adding
longer
phrase
matches
match
the
or
child
exact
product
match to
listed.
use more
And
precise
adding a
terms to help
multi-pack
reach
as a
more relevant
variation
audience as they
when the
search to buy.
multi-pack was not created by the
The
manufacturer.
more campaigns you run, the more opportunity
Failure
you'll
to
have
comply
learn
with
what
Amazon's
helps drive the
variation
most sales.
policy may result in
When
account
We
deactivation.
recommend launching at least 5
Let's take a look at
sponsored
any
product
company's
campaigns
listing.
within your first
Any
few weeks
company
of
listed a
advertising.
cell phone
From these
charging
campaigns,
cable
you can
and a
identify
portable
top-performing
charger as
products,
variations
keywords,
of the same
so you know
listing.
where to focus your resources.
Any company isn't
You can also
complying
check
with the
out our
variation
video at Seller
policy
University
because
called
even though the
Keyword
products
Match
are
Types, which
related,
gives a
they
more
shouldn't be
in-depth
listed
look
on
at
the
these
same
keyword
detail
match types.
page. As a reminder, more information on our variation
budgeting. So a
policy
daily
can be
budget is the
found
amount
on
you're
the
willing to
Amazon
spend
ASIN
per day
Creation
over
Policy
a
help
calendar
page.
month.
This
Ad spent
concludes
on
the
a given
variation
day may
policy
exceed your daily
training.
budget, but
Thank
at the
you,
end of the month,
and
the
happy
average
selling
daily
in the
spend will not
Amazon
exceed your daily
store.
budget. We recommend you enroll in some of our courses that cover how to launch your first campaign with sponsored products and sponsored brands. Through the Learning Console, you can improve your skills with
Welcome
over
to our
40
training on
e-learning
how
courses
to respond
designed
to
by
a
Amazon
product
advertising
variation
experts.
performance notification.
With the first course,
When
Setup,
listing products in the
called Set Up a
Amazon
Sponsored
store,
Ads
you
Campaign,
must
you'll learn how to
comply
launch
with
a
all
sponsored
applicable
product or
laws
sponsored
and
brands
Amazon
campaign,
policies.
implement a budget that works
Product
with your
variation
goals, and improve
performance
keyword bidding
notifications
strategy.
indicate your account has
There's also a
violated
course,
one or more Amazon
video on this
variation
topic, Sponsored
policies.
Ads, Budget
Please be
Basics,
aware
for a
that
more
it's a
in-depth look on
violation
how
of
to build a
Amazon
budget for your
policy to open a
campaigns.
new account if you have an active violation on an existing account.
Something
If you
to note,
receive a performance
very important, is
notification,
that you
immediately
use
correct
reports
the
to track
behavior
your metrics.
described in
So
the
to track the
notification.
performance of your campaign,
If you want to
you can find
submit an
performance
appeal,
metrics in the
you should
Campaign
submit
Manager
this as soon
interface.
as possible.
And from there, you can find
If your
reports that
account
can
has been
download if you use the most
deactivated because of a
popular spreadsheet
variation
programs such as
policy
Excel.
violation, you'll be asked for a plan of action.
Campaign Manager,
Search
you have the
for
option to
Plan of
display
Action
metrics
in the
for
search field on Seller
today,
Central or
yesterday,
Seller
week to
University
date,
to
last
find
week,
out more
month to
information.
date, last last month, year to date,
Once you've gathered
lifetime,
all the information
or any,
needed for your
or
plan of
customized,
action,
date
sign
range,
into your
3
Seller
dates from the
Central
last 90
account.
days.
hover
Specific
over the
dates included in
Performance
your display
tab
metrics
and
are shown
choose
on the
Performance
x-axis of the graph.
Notifications. Click on the
Keep in
Performance
mind that in the
notification.
metrics of the
Make
Campaign
sure you
Manager,
read all
they're
of the
updated every
information
hour.
in the notification
Sales and
carefully.
ACOS can
Click
take up to 48
Appeal
hours to
next to
populate
the
and might be
notification.
incomplete in the
You'll
yesterday
be taken
view
to the
in the Campaign
Reactivate Your
Manager.
Account page.
In this
You can
view,
also get to
spend is
this
an
page
estimate
if you
and
click
also
the
can be updated
Reactivate
3
Your
days after
Account
a click
button
occurs
in the
as
top
we
right
validate
corner of
your
the
click
Account
traffic.
Health dashboard. On
You
the
can review performance
Reactivate Your
metrics
Account
based on
page,
budget,
enter the root cause
impressions,
of the
top of
variation
search,
issue, the
impression
actions
share,
you've taken to
click,
resolve the issue,
spend,
and the
sales,
steps you've taken to
orders,
prevent the issue
ACOS,
from occurring
ROAS,
again.
click-through rate,
Then
cost per
click
click,
Next.
and units sold,
You may
to
upload
name a few.
supplemental information if you would like, but it's not required.
And
Finally,
changing
click
gears a little
Submit.
bit, we're
If
gonna
you
talk
believe
about
you've
deals
received a variation performance
and deals as a
notification in
strategy.
error, scroll to the bottom
a
of the
lightning deal
account
is a
reactivation
time-bound
page.
promotional offer
Click
where an
the
item is
Please
featured
provide an
for a limited
explanation
time
here
on the
link.
Amazon deal
In the
page.
text box that
Featuring
appears,
an item as a
provide an
lightning deal can
explanation
help
of why
increase
your
sales
account
momentarily
shouldn't be
and reduce your
deactivated,
inventory.
and click
Here's a few
Next.
reasons why you should
You
run a
may
lightning deal.
upload supplemental information if you would
First,
like,
you can
but it's
help
not
improve
required.
discoverability of your product
Finally,
and products.
click
By
Submit.
featuring your
If your
product on the
appeal is
Amazon
successful,
Deals page,
your account
you'll
will be
give
reactivated.
customers you may not have
Remember
reached
that you
before a
can
chance
view
to
the
find your
product variation
You can create a
policy
lightning deal
by
on
going to
any
the Seller
recommended
Central
product,
homepage.
but it's a great choice
Type
for new
ASIN
products as a way to
Creation
expose
Policy
a
in
new
the
item to
search field.
customers. It can
Scroll
also
down
create
the
a halo
ASIN
effect for
Creation
your whole brand.
Policy page
The
until you
lightning
see
deal
the
may create a
variation
spike in
policy.
sales while it runs, but that
This
spike
concludes
can
the
extend
training on
beyond
how
the
to
deal
respond to a
timeframe.
product
We call
variation
this a halo
performance
effect.
notification.
In addition to improving
Thank you and
discoverability
happy
for their
selling
products,
in the
some sellers
Amazon
have
store.
experienced sales growth the month after running a lightning deal for both the featured product and the rest of their catalog. Finally, you may have overstock.
Welcome to the
or
video
end-of-season
on
inventory you'd
understanding
like to move
Amazon's
really
multiple
fast.
selling accounts
And
policies.
in the case that you don't
This
want to sit
video
near an
covers the
FBA, a
following
lightning deal can be a
topics.
great way to sell
1.
through or sell
Overview
down,
of multiple selling
that
accounts
remaining, FBA
policies.
inventory.
2. When
To
does
be
Amazon
eligible
take
for deals,
action?
it's worth
The
noting that you
content
need to be
in
a
this
professional
video
seller with
applies
at
to
least
all
5
Amazon
seller feedback
stores.
ratings per month
Let
and
us
an
first
overall
discuss
rating
the
of at least
multiple selling
3.5
account
stars.
policies. Sellers are considered to have multiple
Moving
or
on to
related
another,
accounts when they
feature
own,
called
operate,
coupons.
are involved with, or have access to
Coupons
more
are
than one
self-service,
Amazon selling account.
growth tool for sellers.
Sellers
With
who
coupons,
have
you
a
can offer
legitimate
percentage
business
or
need
money
to
off
operate
discounts to
multiple
help
selling
increase your
accounts
sales,
can
such
do
as
so.
5% off, $5 off,
Sellers are not
etc.
currently required to request approval from
You can
Amazon
find
to open a
coupons under
subsequent
the
selling
advertising
account.
tab in Seller
If
Central.
you do operate multiple
Coupons
accounts,
appear
either in the
throughout
same
Amazon
or
store,
different
including
regions,
within search
please ensure
results
that you
that
maintain
feature
all
a
accounts
coupons
in good
badge,
standing.
as well as on a
If any
product
one of your
detail
accounts
page,
is
offer
deactivated
listings,
for
and
violating
the coupons
policy,
homepage.
Amazon may deactivate the other accounts you own. While
One
Amazon
last note on
recommends
coupons
that
before
all
moving on to
sellers
virtual
transact
bundles. I like
through
to
one
think about
account
them as a
whenever
1-2 punch
possible,
with advertising.
here are
So
some
use
examples
the
of
advertising
legitimate
to
business
get
needs.
to
1.
the
A seller
eyeballs to
who
your
owns
listing, and then
multiple
the
brands
coupons are a
with
great
different
conversion
storefront
tool,
names may
just like
maintain a
FBA.
separate selling account for
And
each
moving on
brand
to virtual
for ease of
bundles,
store brand
on to
maintenance.
that next slide.
For
Lastly,
example, a seller may sell
so
brand
the
X on
virtual
one
product
account
bundles
and then
is
wants
part
to
of the
sell
Fulfillment
brand
by
Y.
Amazon program,
If
or
the
FBA
seller
for
needs
short.
to, they can open a new account
This
to
tool
do so.
allows brand owners to create
2.
virtual
A seller
bundles
who is
made
selling
up of
products
2 to
manufactured
5
by two
complementary
distinct and
ASINs,
separate
which are purchased
companies.
together from a single
For
detail
example,
page.
a seller is selling products
This
from company
benefit here is
X,
it's allowing
and
brand
now they
owners
want to
to
start
offer
selling
bundles without
products from
packaging
company
the items
Y.
together or
They can
changing
open
the
a
way
new
they send
account to do so.
inbound inventory to FBA.
3. An Amazon
This
program
feature is only
requires
available
you
to
to
sellers who have
maintain
registered
separate
with
accounts,
their
such as the
brand
Amazon
with
Renewed
Amazon Brand
program.
Registry.
Let us now understand
to
when
as
does
brand owners
Amazon
here.
take
The
action.
seller must be
All selling
internal to the
accounts that a
brand
seller
and
owns
responsible
must
for selling
comply
brand
with the
in
applicable
Amazon
selling
store. If you don't
policies
have access
and
to this
seller
feature,
code
you
of
haven't
conduct.
been identified as a brand
Violating
owner.
Amazon's selling
Visit
policies
the
and
brand
seller code of conduct
benefit
or
eligibility
any
page
other
to
Amazon
identify as a brand
policies
owner,
may
gain
result in
access to
actions
virtual product
against your
bundles
accounts, such
and
as
your other
cancellation of
brand exclusive
listings,
benefits if this is of
suspension or
interest to you.
forfeiture of payments, and account deactivation.
And then we'll move on
To
the
understand
next
what
slide.
each of the
one
points
last
under the
thing
code
is
of
to keep
conduct
in mind
mean, visit
that
the
gift
respective
cards,
page related to your
renewed or
regional
used
Amazon
ASINs,
store.
and electronically
If one of
delivered
your selling
products like
accounts
digital
violates
music,
an
videos,
Amazon
and books
policy
can't be
and is
included for full
deactivated,
bundles.
all accounts that you
Thank you
own
again,
or
and
operate
we
may
hope to see you
also be
next week. Special
deactivated.
thanks to Danny and Craig for
You will
spending their
receive a
Friday
notification
afternoon
about your
helping us
related
out, so
accounts
we really appreciate
violation.
it. Thank you guys.
Use case number 1. You own 2 accounts for selling on
everyone.
Amazon.
Bye, everyone.
Seller Storefront 1 and Seller Storefront 2. Seller Storefront 1 receives a warning notice for manipulating your sales rank. There will be no immediate impact at this point to your Seller Storefront 2 account, but you should heed the warning on your Seller Storefront 1 account in order to avoid future impact to both Seller Storefront 1 and Seller Storefront 2 accounts. Use case number 2. Seller Storefront 1 receives an account deactivation notice for manipulating your sales rank. Your Seller Storefront 2 account will be deactivated because it is related to Seller Storefront 1. Seller Storefront 1 will need to be reactivated before your Seller Storefront 2 account can be reactivated as well. There are other topics related to Amazon's multiple selling accounts policies you should be aware of, including how to respond to a violation notice and best practices to remain compliant. Continue your learning with the video that discusses about addressing Amazon's multiple accounts. Welcome to the video on addressing Amazon's multiple accounts policy violations. This video covers the following topics. 1. What can you do to address violations? 2. Best practices to remain compliant. The content in this video applies to all stores. Let us first understand how you can respond to a violation notice. If you receive a notification that a related account has been deactivated, this means that one of your existing accounts violated Amazon's policies. In order to reactivate your related account, you must first address the violation in the underlying account that was responsible for the policy violations by submitting an appeal for each violation. You can appeal by signing into the account that was responsible for the policy violations. You must appeal in each regional Amazon store in which the account has been deactivated for the policy violation. You can submit your appeal by accessing your account health dashboard. If your appeal for the underlying account that was responsible for the policy violations is accepted and the account is successfully reactivated, you can then appeal your related account. When submitting the appeal, you will need to provide us with the storefront name of the original account that was reactivated and the date of reactivation. Use case number 1. You own 2 selling accounts, Seller Storefront 1 and Seller Storefront 2. Seller Storefront 1 receives a deactivation notice for directing customers to an external site, circumventing the sales process. You then receive a deactivation notice on Seller Storefront 2 since it is related to Seller Storefront 1. You should log into your Seller Storefront 1 account and appeal the violation. If your appeal is accepted and the Seller Storefront 1 account is successfully reactivated, then log into your Seller Storefront 2 account and appeal through the Account Health dashboard by providing the storefront name of the original account that was reactivated and the date of reactivation. If you believe the related account deactivation happened in error, or you have never owned or operated another account, please submit an appeal through the Account Health dashboard and confirm that the account is not related to yours. If we do not receive evidence confirming the account is not related to you, the account will not be reinstated. If you previously co-owned or co-operated the underlying account with a former business partner, you would need to provide supporting documentation, such as a contract showing separation of the business relationship as part of the appeal. Please note that it's against policy to buy, sell, or transfer your account to or from another seller. Let us learn about the best practices to remain compliant. Sellers who have a legitimate business reason for operating more than one account and maintain all accounts in good standing will not be at risk for a multiple accounts deactivation. Please make sure you only create additional accounts if there is a valid business reason. Examples of valid business reasons include owning separate brands with different storefront names or selling products manufactured by different companies. When you receive notices or see alerts on your Account Health dashboard or performance notifications from Amazon that indicate you are violating Amazon's selling policies, please correct the behavior and submit an appeal if applicable as soon as possible. Opening a new account instead of addressing the underlying violations within your existing accounts is a violation of Amazon's policies and will only trigger an automatic deactivation on your related accounts. All sellers are responsible for understanding and adhering to the terms and conditions set out by Amazon's Business Solutions Agreement, which is part of the registration process and includes the selling policies and seller code of conduct. All sellers are expected to maintain and keep secure their own account information and credentials. In the primary account information, sellers should not list information of any third-party services they may be using to help manage the account. However, if you have engaged a valid third-party service, we recommend listing them as a secondary user in the approved app user's user permissions. We hope that this video on our multiple accounts policy was helpful. Thank you, and happy selling on Amazon. Welcome to the video on understanding Amazon's intellectual property policies. This module covers A, an overview of intellectual property (IP) policies. B, why Amazon takes action against IP infringement claims. Note that when you sell on Amazon, you must 1. Comply with all federal, state, and local laws and Amazon policies applicable to your offerings. 2. Not violate IP rights of brands and other rights owners. It is also important to note that Amazon's policy guidelines and the content in this video do not constitute legal advice. You should consult a lawyer if you have a specific question about your IP rights or the IP rights of others. Keep in mind that this module was developed specifically for sellers operating in the U.S. and provides an overview of U.S. policies. Policies in other countries would vary. Refer to the intellectual property help pages for country-specific policies. Let us first discuss what are Amazon's intellectual property IP policies. Amazon's IP policies comprise of 3 main categories: 1. Copyrights, 2. Trademarks, 3. Patents. 1. Copyrights. Copyrights are legal protections for original works of authorship, for example, books, paintings, videos, movies, songs, etc. Let us consider the example of ABC, who is a maker of flannel sheets and took the photos of the sheets shown here and thus owns the copyright for those images. If another seller copies these images to use on another product's detail page without permission, they would be violating ABC's copyright. Typically, federal agencies put in place laws to protect rights of creators. For example, in the United States, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA of 1998, governs online copyrighted materials. For more information on the DMCA and other copyright laws, visit the U.S. Copyright Office website at www.copyright.gov. For resources in other countries, refer to the FAQ help pages within your Seller Central account for a specific country. 2. Trademarks are legal protection for a word or words, symbol, design, or combination of the same that a company uses to identify goods and services. A logo or a brand is a good example of a trademark. A trademark essentially indicates the source of goods and services from a company and distinguishes them from offerings by another company. For example, Amazon is a trademark we use for many of our own goods and services. In our previous example, the trademark ABC appears in the brand name or byline portion of the product detail page shown here. The ABC trademark also appears in the product name portion of the product detail page. ABC flannel sheet set King Sage. Trademarks are registered in the country-specific trademark office. For example, sellers in the U.S. should register their trademarks with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, or USPTO. The USPTO also has other helpful resources at www.uspto.gov. For resources in other countries, check the FAQ page for trademarks through your Seller Central account. 3. Patents. Patents are legal protections for inventions. A patent grants the owner of the patent a right to exclude others from making, using, offering to sell, selling, or importing the invention into the United States for a specific number of years. For example, Amazon holds a design patent for the Amazon Echo speaker design. There are 2 key kinds of patents in the U.S., utility patents and design patents. In the U.S., patents are registered with the USPTO. Visit the website for more information and other helpful resources. For resources in other countries, check the FAQ page for patents through your Seller Central account. In addition to information available at federal agencies, you may also refer to the help pages on your Seller Central account for more information on IP policies. Next, let us discuss why does Amazon take action against IP infringement? Customers trust that they can buy with confidence on Amazon. Products offered for sale on Amazon must comply with all laws, regulations, and Amazon's policies. Amazon strives to protect the rights of intellectual property owners and to ensure that goods listed on Amazon do not infringe on any rights of the IP owner. Any violation of these policies may result in the loss of selling privileges and other legal consequences. If you believe that a product, packaging, or product detail page listed by another seller is infringing on your trademark, copyright, or patent, you may report the offer or entire product detail page to Amazon. To submit a notice of infringement, you must be a rights owner or an agent with permission from the rights owner. In order to report an infringement, you should also be logged into an Amazon account and would need to submit specific information, including specifics of the IP you believe is being infringed, nature of the infringement, product, packaging, image, text on the product detail page, etc., the list of infringing products, ASINs, URLs, etc., list of infringing sellers, supporting documentation, and your contact details. For more information on how to report a violation in different scenarios, what to include in your infringement notice, and what types of notices Amazon can and cannot accept, refer to the Intellectual Property for Rights Owners page under the Help section of your Amazon Seller Central account. Once a notice of infringement has been submitted, Amazon reviews the notice in detail before taking any action against the seller who has allegedly infringed the IP. Welcome to the video on addressing Amazon's intellectual property policy violations. This module covers A. Actions to be taken to address intellectual property violations. B. Best practices to remain compliant. Note that when you sell on Amazon, you must 1. Comply with all federal, state, and local laws and Amazon policies applicable to your offerings. 2. Not violate IP rights of brands and other rights owners. It is also important to note that Amazon's policy guidelines and the content in this video do not constitute legal advice. You should consult a lawyer if you have a specific question about your IP rights or the IP rights of others. Keep in mind that this module was developed specifically for sellers operating in the U.S. and provides an overview of U.S. policies. Policies in other countries would vary. Refer to the intellectual property help pages for country-specific policies. Let us first cover how to respond to an IP violation notice. Amazon takes any claims of infringement seriously, even for sellers that are infringing upon IP without their knowledge. You should consult a lawyer to ensure that you have appropriate checks and procedures in place to prevent IP infringement for all the products you sell. If you receive a notice of infringement, depending on the nature of the notice, you can take several actions to review, resolve, and reduce your risk of account deactivation. The Account Health tab shows the account deactivation and listing level violation messaging. From your Account Health dashboard, you will be able to submit an appeal, review pending appeals, and Amazon's replies to your appeals. Typically, infringement notices target a product offer or an ASIN for removal. If the infringement occurred only on the product detail page, you may appeal after you rectify the details on the product detail page and ensure that infringement does not happen anymore. If you believe that either the rights owner or Amazon made an error, you may dispute the claim and provide supporting documentation. The supporting documentation required depends on the nature of the notice and could include an invoice, an order ID, a letter of authorization, a licensing agreement, etc. Refer to specific instructions provided in the relevant notifications on your Account Health dashboard on Seller Central. For more information, refer to the policy pages in the Help section of your Seller Central account. Make sure to respond to individual policy level violations in a timely manner to help prevent account deactivation. If your account has been deactivated because of multiple notices of IP infringement, you will likely be required to submit a viable plan of action or POA. To learn more on how to create an effective POA and addressing listing or account level deactivation, refer to additional content on Seller University or to the appropriate help pages on your Seller Central account. Next, let us discuss the best practices to remain compliant with IP policies. It is important to note that this is not legal advice and does not provide a guarantee against violations. You should consult a lawyer if you have a specific question about your IP rights or the IP rights of others. 1. Always review existing intellectual property before creating or listing a new product. 2. Compare your products to existing trademarks and patents on the local governing body's website to ensure you are in compliance. 3. Ensure your supplier has valid rights or authorization. 4. Regularly review your account health dashboard to be aware of any risks to your account. 5. Use your own photographs and designs for your product listings or photographs or designs for which you have received permission to use from the creator. 6. If you want to indicate the compatibility of your product with a product of a different brand, in the product title use the following title format for branded compatible products: your product's brand name plus product name plus for compatible with fits intended for plus brand of main product plus main product name plus other product title elements if applicable. For example, brand name power cord compatible with Amazon Alexa. 7. Maintain relevant records and documentations for your products, including invoices, letters of authorization, licensing agreements, and any other supply chain documents. 8. If you are not sure whether your product may be infringing, consult an attorney for help to ensure you have the right procedures in place to prevent IP infringement. 9. Appeal or dispute any listing level notices of infringement whenever possible to avoid further action on your account. This wraps up our video on addressing Amazon's intellectual property policy violations. Thank you and happy selling on Amazon. Welcome to the video on understanding Amazon's restricted products policies. Before we begin, note that this module was developed specifically for sellers operating in the U.S. and provides an overview of U.S. policies. Policies in other countries would vary. Refer to the restricted product help pages that can be accessed through your country's Seller Central account. Restricted products policies are put in place to protect Amazon's customers from products that are illegal, illegally marketed, unsafe, and offensive or prohibited by Amazon's policies. These policies also give customers confidence that all products available for purchase on Amazon are compliant with local laws and regulations. Further, within the U.S. itself, there could be state-specific guidelines. For example, some products are subject to additional regulation in the state of California. Make sure to check that your listings comply with all policies for each country where you sell. Let us first understand what are Amazon's restricted product policies. Restricted products include products whose sale on Amazon is prohibited or restricted in some way due to applicable laws or regulations. These products could include those that are prohibited for sale by Amazon or selling partners, restricted in certain geographies, and products that may not be cross-listed across countries or regions due to regional regulations and restrictions. For example, parts or products from federally endangered or threatened species are prohibited for sale by law. Similarly, products that are recalled by the manufacturer or any government or regulatory agency are prohibited for sale on Amazon. Amazon has help pages on a range of restricted products. Refer to the main restricted products help page for links that go into each restricted product category. You can check the category applicable to your listings to understand the policy guidelines and what is restricted and permitted within each listing. There is more information, resources, and links to applicable federal regulations on these individual help pages, so make sure to visit the ones relevant to your products. In the next few minutes, we will dive deep into two key restricted products areas on pesticides and pesticide devices and offensive and controversial materials to highlight important restrictions sellers should be aware of, particularly when creating new listings. Example 1. Pesticides and pesticide devices. In the U.S., pesticides and pesticide devices must comply with the Environmental Protection Agency's Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act, or FIFRA, and applicable state and local laws, including registration and labeling requirements. You may not be aware if you are selling products the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, considers as pesticides or pesticide devices, as it can be hard to identify which products qualify and why. The EPA classifies most products as pesticides or pesticide devices that are marketed to disinfect, repel insects, remove allergens, or prevent bacteria, or that make any other antiviral, antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, or other pesticide-related claim. These claims are sometimes used in marketing a wide variety of products, including clothing, home goods, air and water filters, and lawn and garden products. EPA guidance on what is considered a pesticide or pesticide devices can be found on the EPA website shown here. Amazon's permitted listings include pesticides and pesticide devices that comply with FIFRA and all applicable state and local laws, including registration and labeling requirements. The sale of products of unregistered pesticides, example insecticide chalk, or pesticide products not intended for sale in the U.S., since they do not have an EPA registration number, are prohibited from a sale on Amazon. Further, pesticide products that make public health claims are also prohibited. For example, Amazon prohibits the sale of any product that is marketed to control or mitigate any disease, infection, or pathological condition. For more examples on prohibited listings, refer to the help page on pesticides and pesticide devices in your Seller Central portal. If a selling partner wishes to sell pesticides and pesticide devices on Amazon, you must first apply for approval to sell these products. Follow these steps listed on the help page to request for approval to sell a pesticide product on Amazon and by taking the Pesticide Seller e-learning course. Note that if you are not a U.S. resident, you are not permitted to sell pesticide products or pesticide devices on Amazon.com. Example 2. Offensive and controversial materials. Amazon aims to ensure a welcoming environment for global customers and sellers, hence values and promotes trust and respect. Amazon does not allow the sale of any products that promote, incite, or glorify hatred or intolerance. For example, the Confederate flag, including product images. These policies apply to all products except books, music, video, and DVD, which all have their own policies. Amazon also prohibits the sale of any products that depict child abuse or exploitation. For more details, refer to the help page on offensive and controversial materials in your Seller Central account. You can refer to the restricted products FAQs on the help pages of your Seller Central portal for additional information. This wraps up. Welcome to our Compliance Reference Tool training. Thanks for having me.
Today, we'll introduce a tool to help you learn about compliance requirements and get the correct documentation when selling in the Amazon store. You're a new seller, right?
Right. I just made my account a month ago.
How's the selling going?
Well, I haven't started selling quite yet.
Oh well, tell me about your situation and let's see how I can help.
Okay. So I want to start selling in the Amazon store, but I'm not sure about one thing. What's compliance? Is that just following Amazon's policies?
Compliance isn't just about following Amazon's policies. It's about following the laws, regulations, and standards. If you're selling something like toys, there are different safety standards that your toys have to meet first.
Ugh, why are there so many rules? Do I have to do this?
You need to take safety seriously. If a product doesn't comply with safety standards, someone's health could be at risk.
That's a good point.
That's why, if your products don't have the right compliance documentation, your listings could get taken down, which might affect your account health. If you ship internationally, non-compliance items might get stopped in customs. And if you have inventory at Amazon fulfillment centers, it might be destroyed if it turns out you're not compliant.
We don't want that.
Nobody does.
So, how do I know what documentation I need? Do I just figure it all out myself?
You should always do your own research, but Amazon has a tool that can help you, the Compliance Reference Tool. You can access it from the page for adding products. You know where to find that page, right?
Yeah, there are two ways to do it from the main menu. One is by selecting Add Products under Catalog, and the other is Add a Product in Inventory.
That's right. And now that you're on the page for adding products, scroll down to find Compliance Reference. Learn compliance requirements and service providers for your products.
What's this?
Select Compliance Self-Assessment and find out.
It's a disclaimer.
That's right. Remember that it's your responsibility to have complete and accurate compliance information. The tool I'm about to show you is informational, but it's your job to make sure that you do everything correctly.
Makes sense. I'll select Confirm. Whoa, look at this.
This is the Compliance Reference Tool. It's a treasure trove of information. Just select the region you ship from and the store where you want to sell, and then enter your product type. Select a category from the drop-down menu and type a keyword, or search from the list. If you have an HS code, you can use that too.
What's an HS code?
It stands for Harmonized System Code. It's an international standard 6-digit tariff code for product categories. If you don't know what it is, don't worry about it. Here, it's just another way to find the product category you're using. Once you find a category, you'll see a product type description.
Okay, so let's say I'm looking at toys. So I start on the left and keep selecting as I move, right? Until I find the product type I'm looking for? Wow!
There's a list of the documentation information. Make sure you check the different information tabs too. For toys, there's one set for product compliance and another for dangerous goods compliance.
What if my product isn't listed here? Does that mean I don't need compliance documentation for it?
Not always. It's also possible that your product is in a different category than you thought. If you can't find your product, try looking at a similar product and see what compliance documents are there. Some of those may apply to your product. And even if you can't find a similar product, that doesn't mean you don't need compliance documentation. It may just mean that your product isn't in the database yet. Product compliance regulations may change, and while the Compliance Reference Tool is updated frequently, it is your responsibility to make sure that you don't need anything extra that's not included in this list.
Got it. So I'll start with the documents listed here. But I don't know how to get all these certifications. Who can help me?
Scroll down.
Wait, is this?
It's a list of providers who may be able to help you get the documentation you need. Each provider's entry includes their name and the services they provide. It also shows you the country and city where you can find them.
It even shows their contact information. This is incredible. They're all in the same country, though.
Do you see the drop-down list at the upper right that says Country? You can select the country to see service providers in that region.
So this tells me who can provide the services I need and where I can find them?
It does more than that. Select the providers you're interested in by using the checkboxes. You can even select ones from several different countries. Your selections are retained when you change lists.
Okay, now what?
Scroll up to where it says Service Provider Pool on the right.
It says I've selected 3.
Right. Now select Create Report.
Oh, wow. It's a printable report.
This report lists the types of compliance documentation you need for your product type, as well as the service providers you selected. There's also a list of trade export compliance requirements for each SS code within that product type.
This is amazing. This tool does everything for me.
Not everything. You're still responsible for making sure the service providers are right for you and that their services are up to date. Remember that you may need to get help from service providers that aren't on this list, or even prepare some documents yourself.
Good point. But still, this lets me know where to start and saves me a lot of work.
That's true.
Thank you for showing me this. I was nervous about selling because compliance is so important. It'd be terrible if someone didn't get their order because I wasn't thorough enough with compliance. But now I can go right from the page for adding products and get a whole report about compliance for each product type I want to sell. And I can print it out or save it as a PDF so I can share with others who work with me.
That's right. And that concludes our training on the Compliance Reference Tool.
Thank you. Happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our training Apply to Sell a Product, Category, or Brand. There are a few steps you should take before listing a product in the Amazon store. First, confirm that it's okay to sell. Make sure it's safe and complies with all laws and regulations. You should also review Amazon's restricted product and product compliance policies to verify that it isn't prohibited by Amazon and meets all product-specific requirements. Next, determine if the product requires any approvals. Although products can be listed in the Amazon store without approval, we require approval to list certain products, categories, and brands enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry. You can obtain approval for a product, category, or registered brand by completing a selling application in Seller Central. An application may include document requests, performance checks, and other qualifications. It's designed to help ensure that customers can shop with confidence in the Amazon store, knowing that products are safe and authentic. How will you know if your product requires an approval? We've built approval checks and applications right into the listing process. To list a product that's already sold in the Amazon store, hover over Inventory in the Seller Central main menu, then click Add a Product. Search for your product by using a product ID or GTIN like a UPC, ISBN, EAN, or JAN, or search using an ASIN or other ID paired with descriptive information like brand or product name. Next, locate the product you want to sell in the search results. If it requires approval, you'll see a Show Limitations link, which you can click to get a summary of listing requirements. Review the requirements, then select a product condition using the drop-down menu. You can click the Apply to Sell button and then the button on the selling application page to begin the approval process. The specific selling application you'll need to complete will depend on the product you're trying to list and the type of approval you need to secure. Let's review a selling application for a category first, then a selling application for a registered brand. On the Selling Application for Category page, start by answering any product-related questions. Then review the list of requirements for the purchase invoice you'll need to upload. Check each box after you verify that your document meets each requirement. The purchase invoice you submit needs to be dated within 180 days and include your name and address, matching the information in your selling account. It also needs to include the name and address of the product's manufacturer or distributor and show a combined purchase of at least 10 units. That means the invoice should show a paid balance for at least 10 units, demonstrating that you own the inventory. If you're omitting the pricing for individual items on your invoice, check the box to confirm. Then check the box acknowledging that we may verify your document by contacting the manufacturer or distributor it identifies. After checking each required box, upload your purchase invoice. Make sure it's a high-resolution PDF file in the correct orientation. Then provide any optional comment that might help us assess your application, along with contact information we can use to ask follow-up questions. Click the Submit button to complete the application. If you need to complete a selling application for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, you'll follow a similar process. On the Selling Application for Brand page, start by selecting the document type you want to upload as part of your application. You may upload either a purchase invoice for products from the brand that you received from a manufacturer or distributor, or a letter directly from the brand authorizing you to sell their products. For a purchase invoice, you'll need to submit a document that meets the same requirements we reviewed for a category approval. For an authorization letter, you'll need to submit a document that is dated within 180 days and includes your name and address, matching the information in your selling account. Your letter also needs to be on the brand's letterhead and include the name and address of the brand. Make sure it's a high-resolution PDF file in the correct orientation. After uploading either document, you'll provide contact information plus any optional comments. Then click Submit to complete the application. Note that when submitting a selling application for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, you're specifically requesting approval to match offers to the brand's existing product detail pages. This approval doesn't provide you with additional listing privileges to create or edit product detail pages for the brand, or access to brand selling benefits like stores and A+ content. Those additional privileges and benefits are reserved for sellers internal to the brand and authorized third-party resellers. If you'd like more information about requesting additional listing privileges and brand selling benefits, see our Seller University video, Request Access to Brand Selling Benefits. Now that you know how to request an approval for a product that's already sold in the Amazon store, let's review how to request approval for a new product. You'll start the process the same way, double-checking that there's no existing listing for your item. Search for the product using the Product Adding tool. If it doesn't appear in the search results, click the Create a New Listing button. During the listing creation process, you'll find out if your new product requires a category approval when you select a product type. You can search or browse product types and will see a Learn More button with a lock. Click the button to open our help page, Categories and Products that Require Approval. Then find and click the Request Approval link next to the relevant product category. This will bring you to the Selling Application for Category page, which you can complete using the same steps we reviewed earlier. You'll find out if you need to complete a selling application for a registered brand a little later in the listing creation process while entering information for the new product detail page. After entering or selecting the brand's name in the brand name field, you'll receive error 5461. You can use the link in the error message to access the Selling Application for Catalog Authorization page, which lets you request approval to list and sell the item for the brand. As part of the application, you'll provide a letter of authorization from the brand, as well as product information and images to create the new ASIN and product detail page. Note that this is the only scenario in which a seller other than the brand owner or another seller granted listing privileges for the brand can apply to create a new listing for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry. After completing a selling application for a product, category, or brand, you'll receive confirmation within 24 hours that we're reviewing your approval request. In most cases, that review process is completed within 3 business days. To monitor the status of a selling application, hover over Catalog in the Seller Central main menu and then click View Selling Applications. Once the status of an application is approved, click the List Products button to start adding products to your inventory. This concludes our training on applying to sell a product, category, or brand. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store. Welcome to our training, Request Access to Brand Selling Benefits. After a brand enrolls in Amazon Brand Registry, it has greater control over the information that appears on its product detail pages. It also has access to a suite of selling benefits designed to enhance its performance in the Amazon store. Those benefits include stores, A+ content, and sponsored brands campaigns, as well as the brand dashboard and Amazon Brand Analytics. If you're an Amazon seller who has a relationship with a registered brand, you can use one of 2 processes to request listing privileges and access to the brand's selling benefits. Sellers internal to a registered brand use an automated process in Seller Central, while third-party resellers with authorization from the brand use a manual process. Both these processes provide sellers with the privileges needed to create and update a registered brand's product detail pages. Sellers internal to a brand also receive access to a full suite of selling benefits, while authorized resellers receive a more limited set of selling benefits. Let's review both processes. Before we begin, note that requesting listing privileges and selling benefits access is different than applying to sell a brand's products in the Amazon store. That separate process is sometimes required for sellers unaffiliated with a registered brand when they want to match offers to the brand's product detail pages. If you'd like more information about completing a selling application for a registered brand, search for our training, Apply to Sell a Product, Category, or Brand in Seller University. If you're internal to a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, you can request listing privileges and selling benefits access with a few quick clicks. Start by opening the Seller Central main menu. Hover over Brands and select All Brand Benefits. Next, click the View Registered Brands button. You'll see a list of the brands you sell in the Amazon store on the Brand Benefit Eligibility page. To request listing privileges and selling benefits access for a brand, click the Identify as the Brand Owner button next to it, then the Submit Request button in the pop-up menu. If you don't have access to the brand benefit eligibility page, you can still request listing privileges and selling benefits access for a brand by contacting seller support instead. After you submit a request as a seller internal to a registered brand, the original seller who enrolled the brand or another approved administrator can review your request in the Amazon Brand Registry portal. If they grant you listing privileges and selling benefits access, you'll receive email confirmation. Then you can navigate to Stores, A+ Content, and Sponsored Brands in Seller Central to start using those tools. Or navigate to the Brand section of the main menu to use tools like the Brand Dashboard, Amazon Brand Analytics, and Virtual Bundles. If you're an authorized third-party reseller for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry, you can request listing privileges and selling benefits access using a manual process. This will provide you with the same listing privileges enjoyed by sellers internal to a brand, along with access to brand selling benefits outside that brand's section. That includes Stores, A+ Content, and Sponsored Brands, as well as access to upload and manage videos on product detail pages. To request access, start by securing supporting documentation from the brand that verifies your relationship. This could be a distribution agreement or other official correspondence. Then reach out to Amazon Seller Support. When you contact Seller Support, provide the name of the brand and your supporting documentation, and confirm that you're requesting listing privileges and access to selling benefits as an authorized reseller. We'll review your request to verify eligibility and either confirm that you've been granted listing privileges and selling benefits access or ask for more information. This concludes our training on requesting selling benefit access for a brand enrolled in Amazon Brand Registry. Thank you and happy selling in the Amazon store.